My next guest, Eylon Levy. He's a former international media advisor to the president of Israel. Thank you for your time this morning. We're hearing a lot about Hamas, and the focus is on Hamas. But I want to start by talking to you about the role of several other countries in all of this, beginning with Iran.
First of all, Marni, before we get to that, I want to say I'm sorry if I seem a little bit out of it, but I really do feel like I might throw up now live on air because the Israeli Prime Minister's office has just decided to take the extraordinary step of releasing images of the burned body of a Jewish baby, a picture that they just showed Antony Blinken. It's there on their Twitter, burnt to a crisp, burnt to a charcoal. The attack that Israel suffered on the 7th of October was not only Israel's 9/11, it wasn't only Israel's Pearl Harbor, it was our Bucha. It was the scene of mass atrocities, 1,300 people butchered, and the images that are beginning to come out of the villages, the reports of beheadings, of people burned alive, even of a pregnant woman who had her belly split and then the fetus stabbed, has left the whole country in some very deep trauma. It's not easy at the moment.
No, Eylon, and why is it important? I have not seen these images, and I am reading that they exist and that they're being shared. Why is it important that not only we hear these stories, as difficult as it may be, but we do look at what has happened?
It's important to understand the full magnitude of what happened on October 7th, because I think many people in the world think this is just another one of the rounds of conflict between Israel and Hamas that happen every half a year, every year, and that this is going to end with a de-escalation and Israel will go back to deterring Hamas. But Israel's goal in this operation is not to deter Hamas. It's not to degrade Hamas. It's to destroy Hamas. And that's because what Hamas did on October 7th was the world's deadliest terror attack in world history after only 9/11. The death toll at the moment is half of 9/11, nearly, not adjusted for population, in absolute terms. It's the single worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. We're seeing atrocities of a scale that have left the conscience of the world shocked, on a scale like ISIS, but if anything, having taken ISIS's cruelty and refined it. And so it's important to understand why Israel is about to take the very extreme action that it is taking in the Gaza Strip, because it says, we don't want to deter Hamas. We're not trying to buy time until the next round that Hamas can attack us. It's over. The rules of the game have changed. Never again will we allow this violent jihadist terror group with this sick, twisted Nazi mindset and tactics to be able to perpetrate such atrocities against the men, women, children, elderly people of Israel. It's over. The rules have changed and the gloves are coming off.
Yeah, we are dealing with the devil. There is no other way around what we are seeing, Eylon. But Hamas cannot do this.
Absolutely satanic.
Hamas cannot do this alone, 20,000 strong. They're getting help from somewhere. I continue to wake up each morning and question if and how Iran is helping. We're hearing the role of Qatar in helping to rescue some of these hostages. Tell me your thoughts on Iran right now.
Look, it's important to look at the Middle East and zoom out from the lens of Israel specifically. This conflict is not just Israel versus Hamas or Israel versus the Palestinians. The Middle East has realigned in recent decades. We now see an alliance of Israel and the moderate Arab states, Egypt, Jordan, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, against an axis of evil led by Iran, together with the Assad regime in Syria, the terrorists of Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen. That's the realignment in the Middle East. And the moderate alliance of Israel and the moderate Arab nations are America's allies here on the ground. There's no doubt that Iran, whose leader just this week, again, called Israel a cancer that needs to be eradicated, has a very serious role in this, having funded Hamas to the tune of tens of millions of dollars every month for very many years now. It's made its genocidal ambitions regarding Israel and the Jewish people no secret. And here we have indeed that link up between the evil regime in Iran and the Nazi-like terrorists of Hamas inside the Gaza Strip, whose cruelty knows no bounds in their determinism to reinvent the playbook of barbarism in order to behead Jewish children, murder old women by shooting them in the head, burning whole families alive inside their homes. And that is why Israel is taking such forceful action against Hamas. And that's why it's so useful that the United States has also sent an aircraft carrier into the Eastern Mediterranean to warn if anyone is thinking of messing with Israel, as President Biden said the other night, our warning to you is this: don't. And it's why Secretary of State Antony Blinken just had a joint briefing with Prime Minister Netanyahu, in which he said Israel is a country that knows that it, may have to be able to fight alone, but as long as America, as long as the United States of America exists, you won't have to, because we have your back. And those messages of support are very encouraging, because they show that not only does the world understand what has happened, but the world understands that this is a fight against the forces of evil and barbarism in the Middle East.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.